Good morning, welcome. Today I'm going to discuss in Account Edge entering an activity slip and preparing time billing invoicing for multiple activity slips. I'm going to start with just taking a look at a customer card file and going to my card list and looking up my card that I'd like to look at. So I'm going to work with this client here, Marquee, and I can get to that card by going in on this arrow button or by searching it through my list. And I can do my word search by contains, and I could do my word search by a number of other different factors. So I'm actually going to select this particular customer and just take a small review and step through. When you eventually bill, you'll be picking up a variety of different billing addresses, their phone number, their email, and some of their selling details. I've set this particular client up for time and material billing. I've set them up to print a particular type of invoice and choose a base rate price for billing. You can actually pick the customer rate or have more complex billing schedules. Close out of that. Then I'm going to just check that I've got the activities set up that I would need to set up in Account Edge. And I've set up two activities, one for consulting and one for expenses. In consulting, I've labeled it. I've given it a more extended label. It's active for me, not inactive, so it'll show on my list. And it's hourly billing that would naturally be chargeable using the customer billing rate as opposed to this activity billing rate, which is different. At any point in time, I can have as many activities as I want. So I'm ready to go to time and billing in my command center and enter an activity slip. I am the employee, and the indexing for the slips are automatic, but you can override that. Today's date and the selected client that I'm looking at and consulting. I can do any of the drop-down lists to select a different a different consulting or activity or a different customer. I can enter my units. In this case, it's hours. Units are hours. It picked up its bill rate, but I can certainly switch it to the user activity bill rate or override the bill rate. I'm going to enter my job number. I'll cover jobs under another seminar and begin to enter my text. Business, see a typo, business planning and associated emails and phone call. So that's what my description is going to be. As a practice, you'll see that I've placed the client name in the description notes field. I've marked use the notes instead of the activity when creating the invoice if I wanted to create this one invoice on activity on the fly. And if I didn't know exactly how much time it's going to take, I can actually use the timer. And when I stop the timer in Account Edge, it will populate. It's got to get to a minute. It'll populate the units field up here. So let it kind of clock along for a few minutes. And when it gets to a minute, it's going to put in that field. In the meantime, go down here a little bit. It stops. So it's actually populated it, but that's somewhat impractical. And well, let's say I worked an hour and I'm now going to record that time. And I'm going to bill it with other, that single slip or other slips that I've created. So I'm going to create one more slip, and that'll be for Marquee. And this time it'll be for an expense and 1 unit of tolls. Let's say tolls. We have a lot of tolls in this area. Marquee tolls to and from. No need to start a clock. It's a activity. We're going to record that, and of course I need to put my employee name on. So if you have any mandatory information you're missing, it's going to warn you. It's warning me about the rate. Now I'm ready to prepare my time and billing invoice. I'm going to select this particular customer, and it's going to present the items that I'd be willing to bill, and I'm going to bill them fully. I can carry forward any item I would like not to bill, but for this simplicity and time, we're going to choose show my notes, prepare the invoice, and not hold time to carry over later. So I'm going to prepare that invoice, and as you can see, I have my notes. I'd like to do some editing to that invoice, place a line in here, so we're going to go edit, delete that line for a second, and then edit, insert a subtotal, and you could call total subtotal, and possibly add another line, because in the middle of my billing, I realized I missed an element and just want to get it in there. Choose my activity, and I should have billed 1 more hour. Additional services. Okay, here we go. We got it. So now I have that, and I could also put in another subtotal, and so I have subtotal, grand total. They didn't pay me today, so I'm going to leave that blank. It's not taxable. If you're doing some commission tracking, you could enter anyone in your employee list as a salesperson, a comment to thank you, but you can have any comment you'd like to create. I could spell check it, and I could save it as a recurring transaction, or add and edit the work in process if I wanted to hold some of the time. Account Edge has the ability to add reimbursable expense mileage versus like a toll, like so many cents a mile. You can add that in at this point, and maybe I take a risk here and put that in. And that's a car I've set up, and I can assign that to reimbursable expenses. That was my cost, and I'm going to just pass through my cost. So there is a section in here where you can actually keep your mileage lists, excuse me, under mileage, and when you go to that vehicle, you can actually log in to that vehicle and enter some expense logs. So I think I'm ready now, and I'm going to preview this. Where it says preview, it's going to prompt me to record it before previewing it, and I can preview what I have. And you have your invoice here. They didn't pay, there was no sales tax, I have subtotaling, I spell checked it, I've got my miles, and I think I'm pretty much set to go. Other than maybe I want to look at different types of formats that it comes with. And I could do that in another session, because I do a session on custom formatting of invoices. So I appreciate your time today, and thank you for listening.